Well, core, having to do the core and academics at the same time, it built my success muscles. When you do more than, when you just do one thing that you have plenty of time to do, you aren't forced to grow personally. And I've learned that in business as an entrepreneur too. When you have twice as much to do it seems like it's possible for you to do, and you do it, you grow personally greatly. You're forced to grow. You build your success muscles. You build a lot of self-confidence too.
I met Artie McFerrin in 2012 when I first came here. The first Monday, 8 o'clock in the morning, Mr. McFerrin shows up in my office. He was so excited to see me, and I was so excited to meet him, that it was really not a pleasant surprise. I knew his name, Artie McFerrin, Department of Chemical Engineering, but to see him, to meet him, to shake his hands was something extraordinary.
Artie was really, as you know, an inspiration to the department and a driving force to the department. By driving force, I don't mean that he had his hands in everything. He really didn't. He really did not try to tell us what to do or how to do it or anything, but he was obviously enabled us to make to do a lot of things we wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And for that, he was a big encouragement to all of us in the department, certainly to me.
He has had a very positive impact. First, because he was a big picture thinker. He always saw the big picture. And that was very important for us as we were really transitioning to move from one phase to another. It was important to determine who we are at Texas A&M, who we serve, what we want to be, and that required a big thinker, big picture thinker like Mr. McFerrin. So that was something very important, but he was also a firm believer in a positive mental attitude, this yes we can type of attitude, and that was also very important for us as we were again transitioning from one phase to the other. We needed that positive mental attitude.
Well, Artie has or had an amazing personality. He actually was a very modest individual, very unassuming, but very practical, and I would say also very passionate about our department, that he believed in us tremendously.
He was a true gentleman, old school gentleman. I never heard him say a cuss word once. I never heard him say anything in anger. He was always a gentleman. He was always positive. He was always happy. It was just his general personality. It was a very upbeat personality, and one that he took enormous pride in A&M, and he would go out of his way to help an Aggie in any situation.
Yeah, my dad is definitely an Aggie's Aggie. Me growing up, we always went to football games. That was kind of my first foray into Texas A&M, and going to work with my dad growing up, and then going to different A&M games and riding in the car up there. We got to spend a lot of quality time back and forth to the games, usually just me and him. And then when we got older, my sister and my mom would go as well. So I always imagined I would just go to A&M as well, and went into engineering as well, and went to through the same department, and ended up going to work in the family business. Got to work side by side with my dad for 20 plus years.
In many of my conversations with him, he would talk about how well respected Aggies are throughout the world, particularly in the petroleum industry. He said that our students were well recognized all over the world for being very practical and accomplished. And so I think he wants to maintain that yes, we can do research that's world class and do amazing things in the laboratory, but I truly think his heart was with the undergraduate students and wanting to make sure that we maintain the quality of our students as we move into the future.
Yeah, I think his legacy is tied to our undergraduate program. His interest in our undergraduate program and in producing solid undergraduates, and he realized that even our students who on paper maybe didn't perform as well as some others, even though there were students like that he still realized that they could perform and would perform, and many times in his opinion they would really wind up being the stellar people in the industry because of their abilities and to go out and provide initiative.
I look more at the products that we have, and the most valued products that we have is our own students. And I know personally that his advice and support throughout have made a tremendous difference in the lives and the professional development of many undergraduate and graduate students. So those may be some of the less tangible impacts, but as far as one can provide statistics for, but in terms of human lives, those are probably among his most profound impacts on the department.
I think that his role model would always remind people that this is the Artie McFerrin department. He was very concerned about the undergraduate students, and I think that'll push through.
I cannot say enough about not only Artie McFerrin, but the whole family, Jeff, Jen, and Dorothy. They're all wonderful people. I cannot say, and they're not only friends of the department, they're friends of the university. And their contributions academically and philanthropically has been just marvelous. There is very few people that I know in the world that has done what Artie has done. So his legacy will continue forever, as far as I'm concerned, as long as the department is here.